I stand in Mom's kitchen, watching her fuss with the tea kettle. Sunlight streams through the gauzy curtains, catching dust motes that dance in the air like tiny memories. This room hasn't changed since I was 10. Same yellow wallpaper, same cookie jar shaped like a plump hen. Maya, I really appreciate you coming over, Mom says, patting my arm. Her silver-streaked hair is pulled into a neat bun, librarian proper even in retirement. I just can't figure out this banking app. Everything used to be so simple with paper statements. No problem. I smile, the dutiful daughter as always. 31 years old, and still playing tech support. Where's your phone? On the table. Let me grab us some water. She bustles into the kitchen, and I reach for her phone, a new model I convinced her to upgrade to last Christmas. The screen lights up with a notification. Group chat. Torres inner circle. Julianne. Ugh, she's complaining about Harper's business plan again. My heart stops, then hammers against my ribs like it wants to escape. The message is so specific, so cruel, and the chat name Torres inner circle implies there's an outer circle, me. My hand moves on its own, tapping the notification. The chat opens. Harper. She thinks everyone lives in an Excel file like her. Good thing Mom didn't invite her last Sunday. Sunday. The day Mom said she wasn't feeling well when I offered to bring over soup. The day I spent alone in my apartment catching up on client files. My eyes drift upward to earlier messages. Elaine. Mom. Confirmed. Grandma Madeline's $90,000 fund will be released on Friday. Julianne. Perfect. I'll use my $45,000 for the kids' UNC college fund. Already told my husband. Harper. Thank you, Mom. $45,000 will be enough for my studio. Elaine, Mom. Remember, we agreed not to tell Maya. She doesn't need it, and will just complicate things. This is for the best. My lungs forget how to work. $90,000. Split 2 ways, not 3. Grandma Madeline died 4 months ago. Her favorite wooden spoon still hangs in this kitchen. She taught me to bake snickerdoodles on that counter right there, her soft hands guiding mine. You're so careful, Maya. So precise. That's a gift. I hear Mom's footsteps returning and quickly set the phone down exactly as I found it. My face settles into a mask, the one I've perfected through years of family dinners where Julianne bragged about her perfect children, Harper complained about her latest artistic crisis, and I sat quietly, keeping track of who needed tax help. Here we go, Mom says, setting down 2 glasses of ice water. Now show me how to use this thing. For the next 20 minutes, I walk her through the banking app setup, my voice steady and professional. My hands don't shake, my eyes don't water. I am the perfect accountant, the reliable daughter, helping her mother manage her finances while pretending I don't know she's stealing my inheritance. You're such a lifesaver. Mom says when we finish, what would we do without you? I wonder, I reply, my voice carrying just enough edge that her smile falters. But she doesn't notice. Not really. She never has. Later, I grip my steering wheel so tight my knuckles blanch white against the black leather. Rain starts to patter against the windshield, matching the rhythm of thoughts pounding in my head. What would they do without me? The memory surfaces like a bubble breaking through water. Me at 16, hunched over the dining table surrounded by tax forms while Dad paced behind me. That's our reliable girl, he'd said, clapping me on the shoulder as I finished their taxes. What would we do without you? Outside the window, Julianne and Harper had been climbing into Mom's station wagon, laughing as they headed to the mall. I'd wanted to go too, but someone had to fix the mess Dad had made of their finances. The reliable one, the responsible one, the useful one, never the loved one. I park outside my apartment building but can't summon the energy to exit the car. The realization settles over me like concrete hardening. They never loved me. They loved my function. I think of all the nights I spent organizing Harper's chaotic business records, all the hours explaining college savings plans to Julianne, all the weekends installing software on Dad's computer while he watched golf, and all the times I swallowed my opinions, my desires, my needs, because I was the practical one. The one who didn't need emotional support or inclusion because I had my sensible career and my sensible apartment and my sensible life. When I finally make it inside, my apartment feels different. Smaller. The sleek furniture and minimalist decor that once seemed so adult now look like a hotel room, a place for passing through, not living. My gaze catches on the expensive camera equipment in the corner. The Nikon D850 with specialized lenses. The lighting kit. The props. That silly hobby, Mom calls it. Such an expensive distraction, Julianne says. So technical, not really art, Harper sniffs. The one thing I've done for myself. The passion I've pursued despite their dismissal. I cross the room and pick up the camera. The weight feels solid in my hands, unlike everything else in my life that has just evaporated into lies. Something shifts inside me. The hurt is still there, throbbing like a fresh bruise. But something else rises alongside it. Something cold and clear and terrifying in its clarity. I've spent my entire life being useful to people who see me as nothing but a resource, a tool, a function. No more. I set the camera down gently, then open my laptop. My fingers hover over the keyboard. For a moment, my first instinct kicks in to fix this, to organize it, to make it all tidy and proper. Instead, I open a new document and type 3 words. The inner circle. And beneath it, I begin to make a list. The blue glow of my laptop screen illuminates my face at 2 a.m. My apartment feels too quiet, like it's holding its breath along with me. I haven't slept since leaving Mom's house, since discovering I'm not part of their inner circle. My hands hover above the keyboard, trembling slightly. Data doesn't lie. That's what I've built my career on. I type in the password to our family cloud storage, the one I created years ago, the one I pay for monthly so Julianne could store her kids' school photos and Harper could back up her artistic portfolio. The login screen blinks, then opens to the familiar folder structure. You can organize our digital lives anytime, Maya, Mom had said, patting my shoulder when I set it up. What would we do without you? I navigate through the main directories until I spot an unfamiliar folder. Trust, Docs. My pulse quickens. Of course they'd use Grandma Madeline's initial rather than spelling it out. They didn't want me to find it during my regular maintenance of their files. Inside sit 2 documents. The first, Harper, Studio, Plan, PDF. The second, Madeline, Torres, Trust, PDF. I open Harper's plan first. It's exactly what I expected, disorganized, full of grammatical errors, with wildly optimistic financial projections. A photography studio, with no business model beyond, I'll take pictures of whatever inspires me. No market research, no competitive analysis. Just aspirational Pinterest boards and a budget that makes no accounting sense. My fingers twitch toward Excel. I could fix this. I could create a proper business plan, adjust the numbers to something workable, create a framework that might actually succeed. It would take me maybe 3 hours. My hand hovers over the mouse. No. I close the file without changing a thing. The second document opens with the formal heading, Last Will and Testament of Madeline Eleanor Torres. I scan through the legalese, my CPA training, making quick work of the dense paragraphs. Then I find it, on page 7, section 4.2. The sum of $90,000, to be given to my daughter, Elaine Torres, to be distributed for the benefit of her daughters, as she sees fit. As she sees fit. 4 innocuous words that give my mother complete discretion. Legally, she can do whatever she wants with the money. Morally, she's stealing from me. The loophole is perfect, designed for flexibility, weaponized for exclusion. My stomach lurches. I rush to the bathroom, certain I'm going to be sick, but nothing comes up. Just dry heaves and the taste of betrayal. Back at my desk, I stare at the documents, the reality sinking deeper with each passing minute. The money will be dispersed this Friday. In 4 days, my sisters will each have $45,000, and I'll have nothing. Not the money which stings, but nothing of what I thought was my place in this family. I reach for my phone and dial the only person who might understand the legal and emotional mess I'm facing. Maya? Mark's voice is thick with sleep. It's nearly 3 a.m. What's wrong? Mark, hypothetical. My voice sounds strange, detached. If a trustee of a discretionary fund decides to exclude one beneficiary based on the assumption they don't need the money, what's the recourse? A pause. That's not a hypothetical, is it? No. Mark sighs, and I hear rustling as he sits up in bed. The as trustee sees fit language gives a lot of latitude. But if there's evidence of bad faith or prejudice in the decision-making, Maya, You need a lawyer. Today. I hang up after promising to call his attorney friend in the morning. Then I stare at my phone, thumbs hovering over the keyboard. I type out a carefully worded email to my mother. Mom, for my personal financial planning, could you please send me a copy of Grandma Madeline's trust documents? Thanks. Professional, calm, reasonable. Her response comes back within minutes, despite the hour. Oh, honey, it's all very complicated. Let's not worry about boring paperwork. Let's discuss it at Sunday dinner. Have you ever felt that sinking feeling? When you ask a simple question, and the answer tells you everything you need to know? Maya knew, let's discuss it, meant let's find a way to handle you. Sunday, 2 days after the Friday disbursement. By then, the money will be gone, divided, spent, hidden away from me. I look at the email again. The way she calls the legal document, boring paperwork, the dismissive tone, the stall tactic, my phone buzzes. A text from Julianne. Maya, why are you bothering Mom about legal stuff at this hour? Is everything okay? You know how she gets confused by all that financial jargon. It's starting already. The coordinated defense, the gaslighting, making me feel unstable for asking a simple, direct question. I don't respond. Instead, I take screenshots of everything: the hidden folder, the trust document, the emails, the texts, and save them to a new folder on my personal drive labeled Evidence. For the first time in my life, I'm seeing the pattern clearly. The roles we've all played: Julianne, the golden child who deserves everything; Harper, the baby who needs protecting; Mom, the weak-willed enabler who hides behind what's best for everyone; and me, the reliable function. Not a daughter, but a tool. I think of all the tax returns I've prepared, all the technical problems I've solved, all the financial advice I've given freely, lovingly, believing it was my contribution to our family bond. What a fool I've been. The Monday morning light creeps through my blinds. I haven't slept, but my mind has never been clearer. I pick up my camera, the one hobby they've all dismissed as too expensive and not really art like Harper's work. Through the viewfinder, I see my apartment differently. Not as a temporary space until I find something real, as Mom always suggests, but as mine. The first step toward a life that belongs to me alone. I set the camera down and make a call to the attorney Mark recommended. This is Maya Torres, I say when the receptionist answers. I need to discuss a trust dispute. My voice doesn't waver. For the first time, I'm not fixing someone else's problem. I'm solving my own. Later that morning, my phone lights up with Julianne's name. I stare at it, counting 3 full rings before answering. A small act of rebellion. Hello? I keep my voice neutral. Maya, thank God. Julianne's voice drips with manufactured concern. Mom's really upset. You're making her feel grilled. What's this about the trust? You know you're always so intense about money. We're just worried about you. A familiar heat rises in my chest, the burn of being misunderstood, misrepresented, manipulated. Classic Julianne, twisting reality until I question my own perceptions. Gaslighting, wrapped in sisterly concern. The old Maya would have apologized. The old Maya would have backpedaled, desperate to smooth things over. I take a slow breath. Julianne, I'm simply requesting a financial document. It's not intense. It's standard practice. Please have Mom send it. Silence crackles through the connection. I can almost see her face, the widened eyes, the slight parting of lips. She expected me to fold like a cheap lawn chair. Well, that's not. She stumbles over her words, then snaps. Whatever, Maya, and hangs up. I set my phone down, surprised by the steadiness of my hands. A strange calm settles over me, like the quiet after a thunderstorm. Later that evening, I type out a message to the family group chat, not the inner circle. Of course, but the one where I'm included. Family dinner tomorrow at 6? I have some important financial news to discuss. I know exactly what I'm doing. They can't resist those magic words, important financial news. In their world, it might mean tax loopholes or investment opportunities. Something they can extract from me. Tomorrow arrives with unseasonable heat, thick and oppressive. I park in front of my parents' brick colonial, the house where I learned to be useful instead of loved. I straighten my blouse, grab my leather portfolio, and walk to the door like I'm heading into a board meeting. Inside, the air conditioning blasts against my skin. The dining room table gleams under Mom's good china. Dad fusses with a bottle of wine while Mom arranges a centerpiece of late-season dahlias. Harper slouches in a chair, scrolling through her phone. Julianne arranges her napkin in her lap, her posture perfect. Maya, Dad booms, as if volume can substitute for warmth. Come in, come in. Wine? No, thank you. I slide into my usual chair, the one with the wobbly leg that no one else wants. Mom sets a platter of roast chicken on the table. So what's this financial news? Did you get a promotion? Dinner progresses with painful small talk. Dad rambles about his golf game. Julianne brags about her oldest son's soccer tournament. Harper mentions a gallery showing interest in her work. I pick at my food, letting the tension build until I can't stand it anymore. I set my fork down with a soft clink against bone china. I know about the inner circle. The silence is absolute. Even the house seems to hold its breath. And I know what you're all planning to do with Grandma Madeline's $90,000. Mom's hand flutters to her throat. Dad's jaw tightens. Harper stares at her plate, but Julianne recovers first, her voice controlled, reasonable. Look, Maya, you're successful. You have a great career. She leans forward, her diamond tennis bracelet catching the light. Do you know how expensive tuition at UNC is? My kids need to go to college. Harper needs a start. This is about real need. Don't be so selfish. The word selfish lands like a slap. How many times have I stayed up late fixing their tax returns? How many weekends have I sacrificed installing software on Dad's computer? How many hours have I spent organizing Harper's chaotic business records? Mom twists her napkin, the linen wrinkling between her fingers. We didn't want to make it awkward for you. Legally, I'm the trustee anyway. Dad pushes back in his chair, the legs scraping against hardwood. Don't be disrespectful, Maya. It was a family decision. A family decision. The three words echo in my head, revealing the truth with perfect clarity. A family decision made without the family member who spends her life making their lives easier. I look at them, one by one. Mom, with her pinched expression. Dad, red-faced and defensive. Julianne, self-righteous. Harper, uncomfortable but silent. A family decision. I repeat softly. So that's it. I stand up. I don't yell. I don't cry. The calmness that settles over me is strange and powerful. Thank you for the clarification. Maya, don't be dramatic. Julianne starts, but I'm already walking away. I turn at the doorway, looking back at the tableau they make, frozen in their seats, silverware suspended, faces caught between anger and uncertainty. Enjoy your dinner. The front door closes behind me with a quiet click that feels more final than a slam. In my car, I sit with both hands on the wheel, but don't start the engine. The spring evening wraps around me, fireflies beginning to pulse in the gathering dusk. Through the dining room window, I can see them resuming their meal, heads bent together in urgent conversation. For the first time, I see them not as my family but as strangers, connected to me by accident of birth. People who would take what is mine because they've decided I don't need it. I drive home, my mind crystallizing around a new purpose. At my apartment, I open my laptop and create a new document. I type every word they said tonight, recording the conversation verbatim while it's fresh in my memory. I date it, title it, Dinner, Confrontation, Memo, PDF, and save it. Then I email the memo, the trust documents I found, and my discovery notes to the probate lawyer Mark recommended. His response comes an hour later. They have the legal high ground on the discretionary clause, but this memo shows clear collusion and bad faith. What do you want, Miss Torres? I glance at my camera equipment sitting in the corner, the one passion they've dismissed as a silly hobby, an expensive distraction, not really art. What do I want? My fingers hover over the keyboard, then type with perfect clarity. I want my share. And then, I want to be free. My lawyer's settlement and release agreement sits on my laptop screen, stark and professional. None of the emotion that's been choking me for days appears in this document. Just clear, concise, legal language stating what I deserve. My 1/3 share of Grandma Madeline's money, $30,000 in exchange for releasing my mother from any further claims. This is straightforward, my lawyer had said during our call. No judge would view this as unreasonable. It's literally asking for your fair share, nothing more. I stare at the send button for a full minute before clicking it. The email wings its way to my mother, with Julianne and my lawyer copied. Then I close my laptop and wait. Hours pass, no response. I check my phone obsessively, watch the clock tick past dinner time, and still nothing. By 10 p.m., I've convinced myself they're consulting their own lawyer, drafting a careful response. My sleep that night comes in broken fragments. The notification ping startles me awake at 6:17 a.m. Thursday. I grab my phone, expecting an email, but it's Instagram instead. Harper has posted. My thumb hovers over the notification, a knot forming in my stomach. The image fills my screen. Harper, her eyes red-rimmed, one perfect tear sliding down her cheek. The calculated vulnerability in the photo hits me like a slap. So heartbroken. Her caption reads, "I'm trying to follow my dream and start my own business, but my own sister is trying to take my funding away. Some people just value money more than family." My hands shake as I read it again. The comment section already has sympathetic replies from her friends, people I've known since childhood offering support, expressing shock at my apparent cruelty. Before I can process this public ambush, my phone buzzes with a text, then another, and another. Aunt Deborah. Maya, what's this about you bullying Harper? Uncle Tom. Disappointed to hear you're causing trouble for your sisters. Cousin Rachel. Family should come first. I thought your parents raised you better. The avalanche continues. By 7 a.m., my phone has become a portal to a world where I'm suddenly the villain in a story I didn't write. I don't reply to any of them. Instead, I take screenshots of every post and text, saving them to a folder I label Public, Smear, Campaign. Then I forward the entire collection to my lawyer with a single line. They're responding this way instead of addressing the legal document. Her reply comes 10 minutes later. This changes things. Stand by. I force myself to shower and dress for work. As I'm drinking my coffee, trying to steady my nerves for the day ahead, my father calls. I almost don't answer, but some residual sense of obligation makes me pick up. Maya. His voice booms immediately, not bothering with a greeting. I can't get into my retirement account. You changed the password, didn't you? You're locking us out. This is childish. The accusation is so unexpected that I laugh a short, humorless sound. Dad, I haven't touched your accounts in 6 months. I open my laptop and pull up my password manager. The password is the same one I set for you 2 years ago. Robert Golf, 1960. I hear keyboard clicks through the phone, followed by a long silence. Oh, he finally says. It worked. He hangs up without thanking me. I stare at the phone, a strange calm settling over me. This single interaction crystallizes everything about our relationship. Even as they paint me as the enemy, they still expect my help. Even as they exclude me from their inner circle, they depend on my functional role in their lives. My email pings. It's a group message from Julianne to our extended family, blind copying me, a rookie mistake that shows how little she understands about email. We are so worried about Maya. She writes. She's threatening our mother over money. She's not herself. I forward this to my lawyer too. By now, I've stopped feeling the sting of betrayal. I'm watching their panic with the detached interest of an accountant reviewing a client's mistaken calculations. They're revealing something profound. They assume I'll use my functional power to hurt them, because that's exactly what they would do. 20 minutes later, my lawyer calls. I've just sent an email to your mother and her newly retained counsel, she says, sounding pleased. I thought you might want to know exactly what it says. She reads it to me, and I feel the corner of my mouth twitch upward. My client offered a simple, fair settlement, the email states. In response, your clients have initiated a coordinated public smear campaign. See attached. My client will no longer be accepting $30,000. The new offer is $35,000 covering her share plus legal fees and damages for defamation. You have 24 hours to accept, or we will see you in probate court to formally contest the entire distribution based on trustee bad faith. Your choice. I sit there, phone pressed to my ear, stunned by how precisely this email captures what I couldn't articulate, that their response has only strengthened my position. Their panic has exposed the truth they know they're wrong. Is that acceptable to you? My lawyer asks when I don't immediately respond. Yes, I say, and something shifts inside me. Actually, it's perfect. She chuckles. Their lawyer will advise them to take this deal immediately. The social media campaign was a serious miscalculation. In trying to pressure you emotionally, they've created documented evidence of coordinated harassment. After we hang up, I sit at my kitchen table, a strange lightness in my chest. For the first time since discovering the inner circle chat, I feel something beyond betrayal or anger. I feel powerful. My phone rings again. It's Julianne. I decline the call and send her a text. All communication through lawyers now, please. She types back immediately. Maya, don't be like this. We're family. The word that once would have made me fold now bounces off me. I don't respond. Harper posts again, this time in her Instagram stories. Dealing with a toxic family member is so hard. You try to protect them from their own worst impulses, and they lash out. I screenshot it for my growing file but feel nothing. The online performance that was meant to wound me now seems pathetically transparent. When my phone rings a third time, it's my mother. I let it go to voicemail, then listen to her message. Maya, honey. Her voice wavers. This has all gotten so out of hand. Can't we just talk? Person to person? Mother to daughter? The old Maya would have melted at this appeal. The new Maya forwards the voicemail to her lawyer with a simple note. For your information, attempted direct contact despite legal representation. By 5 p.m., I receive an email from my lawyer with settlement confirmed in the subject line. My mother's lawyer has agreed to the $35,000 payment, to be wired on Friday the same day the trust fund will be dispersed. Congratulations. My lawyer writes. They folded quite predictably once they realized their emotional tactics had backfired. The agreement will arrive for your signature tomorrow. I close my laptop and walk to the window of my apartment. Across the street, a young couple laughs as they walk their dog. A postal worker delivers mail. Cars pass. The ordinary world continues, unaware that mine has transformed. I pick up my camera, the expensive one my family dismissed as a silly hobby, and feel its weight in my hands. Through the viewfinder, I frame a shot of the evening light, casting long shadows across my living room floor. Light and shadow, clarity and darkness, the contrasts that make a composition powerful. I understand now what I couldn't see before. My family never valued me, only what I could do for them. But in trying to exclude me, they've accidentally set me free. On Friday morning, my phone buzzes on the kitchen counter. Mom's name flashes on the screen, bypassing the lawyer barrier we'd established. For a moment, I consider letting it go to voicemail, but something tells me I need to hear this. One final attempt. Hello? I answer, my voice neutral, professional. Maya. Mom's voice breaks immediately. She's crying, hard sobs that would have once sent me rushing to fix whatever was wrong. Honey, please, you're tearing this family apart, over money. Is that really what you want? I say nothing, just wait, as the silence stretches between us. Your grandmother would be so ashamed of you. She continues, her voice steadying with practiced manipulation. Madeline always taught us that family comes first, always. And here you are with lawyers and demands and threats. I watch a cardinal land on my windowsill, bright red against the pale morning light. Grandma Madeline had loved cardinals. Called them little messengers. Strange timing. Just let it go, Maya. Please. Be the bigger person here. That's what you've always done. That's who you are. There it is. The line that has ruled my life. Be the bigger person. Translation. Swallow your needs. Ignore the unfairness. Maintain the peace at your own expense. The ultimate test. My throat tightens, but not with the usual guilt or obligation. Something else rises in me, clear and cool as spring water. Mom, I say quietly, you tore this family apart. You did it in secret, in the inner circle. I'm just sending the bill for my exit. Maya, that's not fair. This isn't a discussion for you and me anymore. Please talk to my lawyer. Don't you dare hang up on me. Her voice rises, the sweetness vanishing. After everything we've done for you. I press the red button. End call. My hands should be shaking. My heart should be racing. I've never hung up on my mother in 31 years. Instead, I feel nothing but peace. Like setting down a heavy suitcase I've been carrying for decades. The cardinal flies away. I return to my coffee, take a sip. It's gone cold, but I drink it anyway. 20 minutes later, my phone rings. This time, it's my lawyer. Miss Torres. They've accepted the terms. $35,000. To be wired on today when the trust is dispersed. They're asking for a full release of claims. That's what we offered. I reply. Yes. She sounds slightly surprised. It appears your mother's lawyer convinced them this was the least damaging option. Do you want to proceed? Yes. I'll prepare the paperwork immediately. 3 hours. I go to work. I file tax extensions for clients. I eat lunch with Mark, who asks if I'm okay. I'm fine, I tell him. And for once, it's not a lie. That afternoon, my phone chimes with a banking alert. I checked the notification. Deposit? $35,000. Wire transfer. The money that was kept from me, that would have been secretly divided between my sisters without me ever knowing, now sits in my account. Not just the $30,000 I was owed, but an extra $5,000 for their attempt to smear my name. I look at the number for a long moment. $35,000. Enough for Harper to start her studio with money left over. Enough for a significant chunk of Julianne's kids' college funds. And for me? Freedom. I open my laptop and begin to type. To Elaine, Robert, Julianne, Harper. Subject: Formal disengagement of pro bono services. This email confirms receipt of the $35,000 settlement regarding the Madeline Torres Trust. As of this date, I am formally disengaging as your pro bono accountant and technical advisor. I pause, considering my next words carefully. This isn't about revenge. This is about setting boundaries. This is about finally charging for services I've provided free for decades. For Robert, your retirement account login is RobertGolf1960. Please contact Vanguard for all future support. For Julianne, your children's education grant, FAFSA applications are due March 1st. I recommend contacting the UNC Financial Aid Office directly. For Harper, your quarterly estimated tax payments, Form 1040 ES, are due January 15th. Please note that your $45,000 capital injection is taxable income unless structured as a formal loan. I highly recommend you retain a professional CPA immediately. Failure to file can result in significant IRS penalties and interest. Please remove me from all family data plans and shared accounts within 48 hours. My finger hovers over the send button. I read through the email again. Cold, professional, terrifying in its helpfulness. The natural consequences of losing their free family resource are spelled out with perfect clarity. I hit send. Within minutes, my phone explodes. Text messages from all of them. Calls from Dad, then Julianne, then Harper. I silence each one. Turn off notifications. I don't need to hear their panic or their anger or their sudden realization of what they've lost. I stand and walk to my window, looking out at the city below. People rushing about their Friday afternoon, unaware that my life has just been cleaved into before and after. Behind me, silenced, my family is discovering what it means to no longer have access to Maya Torres, CPA. They are learning what happens when the person you've used as a resource decides to step away. It's not my responsibility anymore. Their finances, their passwords, their tax problems, their confusion about forms and deadlines and consequences. For the first time, I feel the weight of it, everything I've carried for them. The hours spent fixing Robert's investment mistakes. The weekends lost to sorting through Harper's chaotic receipts. The endless patient explanations to Julianne about college savings plans while she checked her phone and half listened. All the times I swallowed my own needs because I was the practical one, the reliable one, the one who didn't need emotional support or inclusion because I had my sensible career and my sensible apartment and my sensible life. I pick up my camera from its shelf. The weight feels right in my hands. I adjust the aperture, focus the lens on the city beyond my window. Click. The sound is satisfying, definitive. This moment. This is the real inheritance from Grandma Madeline. Not the money, but the freedom. The permission to finally put myself first. To step out of the shadows of usefulness and into the light of my own life. I turn away from the window and begin researching commercial rents in downtown Raleigh. Photography studios. Business licenses. Website domains. $35,000. The seed money they said I didn't need. The inheritance they tried to steal. Now it will become the foundation of something entirely mine. My phone buzzes again. Elaine calling. I decline without hesitation. The inner circle is now a closed loop, spinning in confusion without their center. Without me. And I am exactly where I need to be. Free. Sunlight streams through floor-to-ceiling windows, casting golden patterns across polished hardwood floors. I adjust the aperture on my camera, framing the shot of my new photography studio in downtown Raleigh. 1 year since the family implosion, and here I stand, owner of Maya Torres Photography. The $35,000 settlement money they said I didn't need now surrounds me in gleaming equipment, professional lighting, and a space that breathes possibility. Funny how money works when it funds your dreams instead of others' expectations. This calls for a toast, Mark announces, appearing beside me with 2 champagne flutes. His tie is loosened after a day at the accounting firm, the life I left behind. To new beginnings, I say, accepting the glass. And to this incredible space. Mark whistles, looking around. Light years better than that soul-sucking cubicle at Pritchard & Sons. But seriously, Maya, he gestures to the elegant reception area with its carefully arranged portfolios. Are you sure you can handle the books for this place? Entrepreneurship is a whole different ballgame. The question would have worried me a year ago. Now I laugh. A sound so genuine it surprises even me. I think I've got it covered. I tap my laptop where my meticulously organized spreadsheets live. Turns out, my accounting skills work even better when I'm the one benefiting from them. Mark clinks his glass against mine. 2 skills well applied, then. I walk him toward a wall display featuring my latest corporate headshot series. CEOs and executives who once intimidated me now pay premium rates for my eye, my perspective. The irony doesn't escape me. They value what my family dismissed as a hobby. Did I tell you? Mark asks, pausing at the threshold. I saw your feature in Raleigh today. 40 under 40 is no small accomplishment. Pride warms my chest. Last year's recognition hadn't come for tax expertise or financial wizardry, but for building a thriving creative enterprise from scratch. For living authentically. Thanks for believing in me when I barely believed in myself, I tell him. After Mark leaves, I spot Amber, my assistant, frowning at her phone. She's 24, talented, with the same hunger for photography I had at her age. Everything okay? I ask. She sighs. My dad, another lecture about getting a real job with benefits, says I'm wasting my time with artsy stuff. Her fingers make frustrated air quotes. The words strike a chord so familiar it vibrates through my bones. I set down my camera and face her directly. Amber, listen to me. Your value isn't based on what you do for them. It's based on who you are. I gesture to her portfolio on the desk, images that capture emotion and light with rare intuition. Go build your life. You have my full support. Her eyes widen slightly, absorbing words I wish someone had told me a decade earlier. Later that evening, in my apartment, I edit client photos while jazz plays softly. My phone buzzes with a text. I glance down and the familiar name freezes my fingers above the keyboard. Mom. Hi, honey. It's been a year. I miss you. Can we please talk? A year ago, this message would have unleashed a hurricane inside me. Now I feel oddly calm as I read it. The wound has scarred over, not gone, but no longer bleeding. I consider my reply carefully, typing and deleting several versions before settling on the truth. I'm glad you reached out. I've forgiven you all for my own peace. But I'm not interested in reopening that door. I truly wish you well. I switch the phone to silent and return to my editing. The photograph on my screen shows a young entrepreneur standing confidently in front of her new store. I adjust the light balance, bringing warmth to her expression, clarity to her surroundings. For the first time in my life, I feel completely at peace. My family punished me for my success but ridiculed my passion. They took my inheritance because they decided I didn't need it. They were right. I didn't need the $30,000. But I also realized I didn't need them. What I needed was right here, all along, the courage to become myself.